Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. I'm going to be installing a pinion flange on a Super 8.8 differential for the Mustang. We did take it to the track and we have major traction issues pretty much everywhere, but we're going to do some work on that, probably mainly tires, but it does not need a 355 gear, but I'm only going down to a 331. But that's because that is the only gear that you can go to and still use like an aftermarket carrier. So I plan to use a true track differential and not use the standard limited slip. So I have a manual transmission, iron case because I wanted a stronger case, 331 out of a 2017. So I got to change the pinion flange because the diameter, this part, this is one I got to put on, but the diameter is slightly smaller on this. So to fit the drive shaft tighter, it's got to be switched over. So I'm going to do this first, and then I will do install on the true track. But first, we got to get this one apart. So I'll show you what we got to do here. So I already made my marks here. That's where the marks are here. I transferred that to this one so we could put it on in the same spot. Well, I mean, there's the mark there, but when I get it on the pinion, we'll see it. They give you a new pinion nut and thread locker and a new crush sleeve in case you go too far. Now I already took my beam style torque wrench here and got the rotational torque. It's not much, it's like 5 pounds or 5 inch-pounds I should say. So when you're done tightening it, you're supposed to be at the same spot. So that's what we're gonna do. I am gonna try to just hit this with a gun and that should pop these out and get over that. I'm not sure if I gotta tap those out first or not, but we'll see. And I took it right off, spread those right out, so that's not an issue. So now at this point we'll see if I need the puller to get this off. It seems like it will. They say you pretty much always will. So I gotta get that set up, and then we will go with. Alright, so I have this harmonic balancer puller. I have 2 studs from the accessory drive of a Chevy pickup that holds the brackets on, and I'm just gotta crank this out. It's coming out slow, but it is working, and I'm hoping there isn't much oil in this thing. Or any at all, because I don't want it to pour all over the floor, but that's pretty much the gist of it. Alright, so I did install the new seal. That's just like any other seal. Just pry it out and tap around the edges to get that in. And to get this going, I had to take a rubber mallet and lightly get it pushed on to the pinion far enough to get the nut started. And then I got this, the yoke holder here, got this kind of like wedged. There's a breaker bar here into it. There's a square in this plate so that I can tighten it and draw it in. I'm using the old pinion nut. And let's see, it's a little bit moves around a little bit. So that's pretty much the gist of it. I'm going to stop it, get this tightened up at least to where this is drawn into here, and then we'll pick it back up. All right, now I got this flange pretty much pulled all the way in. I just got to get the about 10 inch-pounds. I'm going between 5 and 10 inch-pounds of rotational torque. So I'm going to put the thread locker on, and then the new nut, and then just tighten it until I get there. And you know, worst case, if I go too tight, it does come with a new one of these, and then what I'll do is when I do the carrier, I'll just pull it all out and just do it over. So hopefully I can get it. All right, so with my setup here, I have the rotational torque. Before I started was at, like I said, about 5 inch-pounds, and we're like maybe 6 inch-pounds, 7, between 5 and 7. So I'm gonna call that good. And so that's where I marked it, put it in the same spot, and then dimple in that part to lock that down, and that should be it. Now the next thing to do is just, we're gonna get to the carrier, but that'll be the next video. Tightening that pinion nut, you can bump it with an impact, but if you do that, you have to be very cautious and don't go too far, because if you go too far, like if you're doing this in the car or whatever, and you're not going to take the rest of it apart, you do not want to go and have to do that, because you're going to have to drop the whole axle, get the carrier out, and put this thing in there and go from there. So what you want to do is just make sure, if you're going to use an impact, that you do not go too far. Just little bumps, check it, little bumps, check it. What I did with the socket, I put little lines on it with a Sharpie so you can see if this is rotating, because like yeah, and it's chrome, but if you try to tighten this and you don't see any lines, it's hard to tell if this even moved. This way you can kind of see how far it went. So that's all that there is to it. Now, as far as the car, yeah, we got to go with a little bit less of a gear. It's a 7% drop in axle torque going to the 331. It also is going to change my mile per hour. My end goal is probably to hit 140s in 6th gear, which should be no problem with the 331s. The 355 would be cutting it close. So I think the top speed was like 138 in 6th gear. So when we go with the E85, if that's what I'm going to do, I don't know if I'm going to do E85 or MS109, but we'll have to see when we get there. But my main reason for this is the iron case for strength, and it does put a little bit extra weight right above the wheels, although I am putting a rear seat delete in because I'm getting tired of if I mess around back there. The seat is pointless, it doesn't do anything. I'm just going to take it out, but it's not really for the weight so much as it's just, that's just what I want it to be. So, but this will return some of the weight right over the axle, the strength, and then the True Track's supposed to be super strong for launches and stuff like that. So, and I do believe that True Track, I will test it with some axles, I'll slide them in. They're supposed to have some preload to it, so it's not just going to be like if you were on ice and pavement, the ice side would spin because there's zero track, or if a tire was off the ground, whatever. It's supposed to get both wheels to turn regardless of the load. So we'll see how that works out. But everybody that I've talked to says they work great. So there's more to come. There's a lot more to come. I got a lot of stuff to do. I had to get an engine for that project for that Chevy 1500, the junkyard motor ain't the way to go. I mean, not unless you're going to go through the whole thing. Maybe it's cool if you're going to throw 20 pounds of boost on it and see how long it runs, but this guy wants it to last, so we just got a new engine from Summit, so we'll be getting to that. I got a couple things with the Lightning, but there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. So please hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll catch you on the next one.